It's really interesting when we talk about European taxpayers' money because, Michael, as we know, Europe is struggling with the cost of living crisis. But I want to get on to the 90 billion euros made available from the EU loan. It's only about half of what Ukraine was actually hoping for from these frozen Russian assets. So even though it's good, it's nowhere near what they wanted. So does this mean that financing is really going to be a problem for Ukraine going forward? Like you said, is Europe making sure it's safe enough at the moment?
It will be. You're right on with that. Is that I did some math this morning, and when you take that 90 billion, you divide it by monthly expenditures, Ukraine is good for maybe 3 years if they're lucky, because a lot of this money, they need to keep their domestic drone production going. They need to buy expensive weapons from elsewhere, even though Europe and NATO are providing a lot. But there are also public sector salaries that need to be paid. Had this, I am told, I was in Kyiv recently, had this money not come forth, Kyiv would have had to start cutting painful things like teachers' salaries and pensions. And for the moment, the Ukrainian middle class, which is taking the burden of this war, carrying the burden of this war, is taking a heavy hit. There's now a military tax that has been doubled, and also an entrepreneur tax that has been increased to 20%. There's not much fiscal room, in other words, available to press people, the normal people, for money. So that is why Ukraine has to go overseas. But once again, I can't say it enough. You know, Europe, better to take care of this problem now and finance Ukraine, push Mr. Putin back for good, than to spend money later on building bomb shelters and schools and government offices and so on.